Welcome, compadres. Welcome back to Due Date, the true legend of Dusty Cantina, gunslinger, librarian. We're up to Chapter 6 now. Dusty learns the lay of the land. They say that despite being a no-good Platte County library card holder willing to risk the safety of cataloged ephemera, Mayor Percy was the sort of politician well versed in the stump speech. Despite his makeshift bandage, he was still leaking blood onto the soft pine floor of the bar, but he still paused long enough for everyone to fix their eyeballs in his general vicinity before commencing telling his tale. Well, it wasn't long ago, on a hot sunny afternoon like this, he began, and his audience, including the ones holding the guns on him, settled in to listen. I was riding up around Two Dog Pass in the high country. You mean up around Cavortin Puppy Point? Asked Three Teeth Ted. Mayor Percy shook his head. Past that. More toward Dog Lick Creek, right up where it butts up against the burnt dog tree. Dusty looked at her sister askance. Medium Mama explained sotto voce. That happened after you left, Dusty. A big storm whipped up and a big bolt of lightning struck this big old pine tree, lit up the sky for miles around, and when it cooled back down, its bark just looked like a chewed up dog's hide. Dusty nodded, and the narrative continued. Well, I was just riding past Sleeping Dog Rock, Mayor Percy started. Ooh, I know where you mean, interrupted Honest Mike. That's just where you first can see Four Dog Ridge. On a clear day, qualified Three Teeth. Not so much when it's storming, though. Then you can only see about as far as Good Dog Plateau. That's right, said Mayor Percy. But this was a fine, clear day, and when I looked over west, I could even make out the Four Puppies. That was a mighty clear day, then, if you can see all the way to the Four Puppies, said Three Teeth. Mighty clear, agreed Honest Mike. Aunt Dusty, said the kid, this pistol's getting kinda heavy. Do I gotta keep it pointed at the mayor? I sorta don't want to blow his head off by mistake like before he gets to the good part of his story, the kid continued. Dusty considered the size and weight of the quivering gun in her nephew's hand. Ordinarily you might be right, but he does have a Platte County library card, so we best err on the side of caution. Keep 'em covered. Okay, Dusty. The kid sighed, took a deep breath, adjusted his grip on the pistol, and pointed it at the mayor's head with renewed determination. Course, kid's got a point, said Dusty in a judicious tone. So I would appreciate it, addressing the rest of the onlookers, if you fellers could not pester the man for more detail than what's precisely needed to move the narrative forward when he's just trying to get his story told. Don't bother with a bunch of questions keeping him from the point of all this. To wit, where he done gone and got his pamphlet. Sorry, Dusty. Sorry, miss. Won't happen again, ma'am. Dusty nodded for Mayor Percy to continue. Like I was saying, he said, I was riding up over that way. He vaguely pointed over to his right, which forestalled any more questions from his listeners. I was looking for some well-watered summer range for my stock. Running summer stock up past Two Dog Pass, said Honest Mike. I ain't ever heard of such a thing. Man's gotta be plumb loco to think such a thing, said Three Teeth. Everyone knows you run summer stock out past the Broken Dog Tooth Hills, said Lonesome Paco. But before you gets to Mangy Fir Ridge, said Forgettin' Henry. Gents, please, let the man have his say, Dusty said with quiet authority. Sorry, Dusty. Sorry, miss. Won't happen again, ma'am. Dusty considered the hangdog faces before her and sighed. Oh, all right, she conceded. There will be a time for questions and comments after the presentation. The Impromptu Literary Society perked up at that, and she raised her free hand to caution them. That's if, mind you, and only if he's still got enough blood left in him to stand for it. Now you go right ahead, Mayor. Aunt Dusty, interrupted the kid. Sorry to interrupt and all, but this gun is getting real heavy. I know, kid, she replied without so much looking at the kid, but we got to let this man here have his say afore we decide we can trust him. As if to emphasize the word trust, a shot rang out when she said it. Damn it, said the mayor, who was rubbing where the tip of his handlebar mustache used to been. Oops, said the kid, putting the heavy gun down in a hurry. Sorry. No need to be sorry, kid, said Dusty. Only reason to apologize after shooting someone is if you missed. In fact, that was a mighty fine shot. I've been growing that for years now, complained Percy. I wasn't even aiming for it, confessed the kid. Now it's uneven and just looks silly, Percy continued his whining. Always looked silly if you asked me, muttered Medium Mama. Honest Mike gave a sudden bark of a laugh that he tried to disguise as a cough, and he suddenly got real interested in wiping out the glass in his hand as an attempt to hide his grin. Well, God damn it, said the mayor, who, it seemed, was getting tired of getting peppered by bullets and questions from detail-oriented audience members. He took a deep breath and said, quick like, the gist of this story is I got that there pamphlet from a one-legged librarian up in the high country. Now will you please put down all them guns before I get shot again? That sounds fair, allowed Dusty. Let 'em down easy now, folks. So there's a one-legged librarian circulating government documents in the high country. If you would have just said that right off, there might have been a lot less time for bullets to go a-flying. Everyone, who was not the mayor, nodded up and down at the obviousness of that observation, and it were the general sense of the room that, given the pace of the mayor's story, and the general prevalence of firearms in the community, as well as to the universal expectation of pacing of an oral tale, he was lucky to have been only shot twice. But Dusty was disinclined to let it go at that. She had heard something that piqued her interest. "Keep talking, Mayor. This story ain't done yet." "Well, that's Dusty for you. Once she got her teeth into something like an obscure ILL request or a tricky reference question or something in a story that struck her as odd, she didn't rest till she was satisfied with the answer. It's all part of why she became a legend, whose name still lives on wherever books or other information resources are collected, cataloged, and circulated. Well, that's it for this episode of Due Date, the true legend of Dusty Cantina, gunslinger, librarian. Today's episode was written by Dan McLaughlin and Margaret Elin Schmidt, read by Dan McLaughlin, and produced by the fine folks at Totally Honest Productions. Like us where you heard us, or send us an email if you got something on your mind at djng@earthlink.net. That's it for this time. Thanks for listening, and see ya at the library. Bye-bye.